Okay, this is my unboxing come first impressions of the Town and Country Pickering stove. Stoves, and this is I think their biggest seller. It comes with a heat shield. It appears to slot over the air system, which you can see at the back now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got a little cutout for that weird air system, and then a block up here to go behind the collar. So you won't necessarily see that, despite the fact it looks a bit weird. And then we have a stove with an enormous door, and it's bloomin' heavy. I did not enjoy putting this in the fireplace. It's a heavy, heavy stove. But that's a good sign in some ways.
Who are these stoves aimed at? What sort of people?
I mean, Town and Country are quite expensive. They're, you know, I think that they would market themselves as a sort of high-end, all-British manufacturer. Please check the slider mechanism before installing, because it might have... These stoves are obviously shot blasted, which is what gives them their textured feel, but there's some sort of warning about their air control that if it doesn't slide smoothly, then you need to take it apart or take something off to remove the shot that's been used to texture the stove. It's got a steel door. That's rarer, particularly for something quite high-end. Steel doors are normally used as a sort of cost-saving option, but...
What? Just because it's cheaper than cast?
Yeah, it's much, you can imagine, trying to make something in a casting.
It doesn't look that different, does it?
No. I mean, it looks really smart.
Yeah.
The other theory is that because cast iron doesn't warp or twist or bend, it just will crack. And the door isn't under any pressure, so it's not going to crack. But if you went too far with temperature and the thickness of the steel wasn't good enough, you could warp the door.
Right, okay.
So yeah. Steel doors are a little bit, well, the thing is the wrong steel door could be a bad thing. The right steel door just works. And this is, well, I've already said how heavy the stove is. This steel is thick.
Right, okay.
It looks at least 5 mil thick, and the minimum thickness for stoves is 3 mil. Ordinarily the maximum you'll ever find is 5 mil. So yeah, it doesn't appear to be a cheap thin door. It appears to be pretty... I don't like the handle.
Really? Why not?
There's no clunk. There's no... It's just...
Is it quite stiff?
It's really tight. Maybe that is just badly tightened up. It's got a smart little Town and Country logo in the glass, sort of etched into the glass. I quite like that.
Yeah.
It's those little touches that sort of make things feel special. And this does feel special. It's just that's too tight. It's all fluted and stainless steel, so I'm imagining that doesn't get hot. It's also sort of bent away from the stove again to minimise temperature. So, yeah, I would imagine that stays cool. The door opens 90 degrees. I sort of wish it opened a little bit more. I'm being a little picky.
You are being a little grumpy today.
Yes, good. And as we can see from these holes at the back of the stove, there's tons of air coming into this stove. All the bricks appear to be double layer. It's not just one layer of brick, there's two. It feels like somebody spent money on this. It doesn't feel cheap. There's not much of an ash lip, which means you are going to spill ash, or I would guess you're going to spill a bit of ash out in the front. We get some gloves. Any ideas?
It looks like a music note.
Oh, it does. Is it a piece of decoration? That does lock into the air control. And...
I mean, you're not going to be able to open it with that, are you?
Okay. Yeah, I've bent it. That's how hard that handle is to move. Yeah.
But it does the air vent.
But it does do the air vent. I have to admit, I really like that it's a music note. Like, you could imagine if you had like a little hook or something, and you just dangled that there, it looks cool. If it's not supposed to be a decorative music note, then it is the weirdest handle I've ever seen. Yeah, it would. I mean, without being a music note, it is totally extra and unnecessary. Town and Country gloves, those are smart. So you get a prepaid envelope, which must be so that you can register your warranty.
What is the warranty on it?
If you've bought this from a Town and Country dealer, and you've posted your warranty off to them, then the guarantee goes to 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah, so it starts at 1 year and then it goes up to 10. Yeah. I like it. It's all sort of very proper and very, very solid. It's got a huge piece of glass. What do you think, Aim? Oh, other than that handle.
Oh, it's difficult, isn't it, when you have so many of them. I'm like, the look I don't think is like necessarily...
Okay.
Like, maybe in a more I'm trying to think, maybe a more modern place it would look a little bit more in keeping. It's
funny, isn't it? Because it's very modern, and then it's got that log retainer, which is very, very traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of in between the two, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, obviously, it looks like some effort has been put into it, and so I imagine it's going to burn quite
I would hope
well,
so.
and it's going to look lovely.
Well, we've got to just try it out, haven't we? My first impressions are it's very heavy, very, very tough. The handle, or on my particular model, is unnecessarily tight. And the air control did look quite complicated. I'm also thinking I could have problems with ash spilling out the front, but we only know when we start using it, seeing how it works. It is a massive stove for 5 kilowatts, so it's definitely one where if you're thinking, I don't want to have an air vent, but I want more than 5 kilowatts, this stove would be on my list, because it looks like it could fit a 5 kilowatt stove inside of it, so it's...
It's like exaggeration.
Well, if I gutted the whole inside of that...
Okay, yes, yeah.
I think there are 5 kilowatt stoves I could put inside. It is huge.
Yeah, it is big. And you could fit quite a lot of logs on there.
Huge amount on there. There's a lot of air coming in at the back, there's a lot of air coming down the glass. I'm imagining this is going to be brilliant, but we'll wait and see. Thank you very much for watching.